Hey, how are ya? Ollie Summers here, reporting in for my thesis proposal presentation. So for the point of this presentation, really the gist of my thesis, is I wanted to capture how organizational design could influence leadership development. So you probably have experienced this, but so many times when we're put in positions where we're really stretched and grown and challenged, we learn a lot about ourselves. We learn about how we can operate and really what we're made of. Sometimes for better and sometimes for worse. But for the most part, opportunities to grow and develop are incredible areas that organizations can leverage as it relates to their talent. Not only that, but when organizations start to focus that way and start to think that way, there's just tremendous change in the culture and the environment of their workplace and how they impact the world around them through whatever organizational strategy and company strategy, business strategy they have. And certainly people want to work for an organization and in positions where they really get to use their talent and use their strengths. So for this thesis, one of the main one of the main drivers is an article produced by Deloitte Press University. So, Deloitte is one of the major four auditing firms in the country, known as one of the big four. And so they have so many resources and so much at their disposal, and certainly a lot of business and organizational leaders that they can survey and really get a pulse on kind of what are some of the market trends that are coming up. And from this survey that they found is that organizational design and organizational leadership development, so leadership development within the organization, are the two largest areas that came up in a consistent pattern with surveys from over 7,000 leaders and from over 130 countries. This is a massive survey that they did. So it goes to show that organizational design, so how organizations operate, how they achieve their goals, and how they kind of have a tactical presence, is a major category around the world. And strong leaders. Again, it's not just a hot button topic. It really is something that's a challenge. So that article I read really got me going, and in the research I've started to notice that our marketplace that we're going to be seeing over the next few years, probably decade, maybe even 2 decades, is really starting to shift. The flow of information has changed. The idea and views of being a leader and being in leadership positions have changed, and how work is done is changed certainly as well. And so traditional leadership pipelines, traditional organizational structures will not cut it. And in that same thread, neither will traditional leadership pipelines. They won't cut it in this evolving marketplace that we're facing, and eventually will become obsolete. And we all know that obsolete is code word for death for an organization. So certainly don't want to have that. And that's really where the research of this paper goes, is starting to look at what constrictions and organizational design, traditional models that those kind of yield, which constrictions they yield, and how that traditional model just isn't going to make it anymore, and it is not going to give organizations any bit of competitive edge. In fact, what will again, the research will start to flow towards is identifying how organizational agility, information agility, and the ability for leaders in various roles around an organization to make on-the-fly decisions. So that's actually going to be some mile markers to what a competitive organization will look like in the next over the next few years in the marketplace. But with that, you're going to have excellent leaders. And so the research, again, will identify these areas in organizational development that would really be some great opportunities to provide leadership development. for instance, if the organization got, instead of having a pyramid shape, which again is a traditional pyramid, if they elongated themselves and looked more like a rectangle, they would have a lot more, they would have a broader base of leadership opportunities. So the focus here would be allowing the organization to shift to more project or strategy-based thinking, kind of, in a team format. And in those teams, you need to identify great leaders, great managers, eventually vice presidents and other executives that can oversee each of these projects, each of these strategies. But the key is getting the right people on those teams and getting leaders in that have a servant heart, that have a servant mind, very, very similar to that of Jesus. Jesus started with a group of 12 guys, and the way he developed them, saw their potential, focused them on what needed to be done, what their mission was, and set out to do it. Kind of did some on-the-job training and really developed their character and their faith. It bolstered an incredible, long-lasting and enduring organization. Got to admit, the way Jesus led his disciples, or his co-workers, or his direct reports, he did a heck of a job, because we're still talking about his organization and his mission and his strategy still today. And so we'll look at some of those as well in the research. So that ultimately is going to get us to a conclusion where business leaders, nonprofit leaders, other executives can really understand. They'll have the material to really understand these concepts that we're talking about of redesigning, reshaping, reengineering how the organization works, how it interfaces with a shifting and changing marketplace, and how it can adapt quickly and be agile enough to meet the demands of customers, clients, of, again, a shifting economic market, but also start to not just react to what the market needs are and be agile, but leverage the organization to develop your talent. Work is a really holy thing. It's a great thing. A lot of us like it, most of the time, especially when we're doing something we really love to do. And more than that, something we're really good at. So restructuring the organization will have influence on leadership development, and that process will be the ultimate goal of this paper, and will be the ultimate idea and knowledge base, and hopefully even skill set and praxis for leaders at many, many different levels, many different industries, to put into play and make their workplace an incredible breeding ground for leadership development. So I'm really excited about this. Thank you for your time viewing this presentation. It's going to be wonderful. Cannot wait. Thanks. Bye.